Hey, good morning or good afternoon. Glad rising, my brothers and sisters. I just wanted to come to you shortly, just to make a statement. I usually don't do this, but since I felt this from last night, I wanted to just kind of just say something today. I have read, and I know most of you have read a book by Professor Eddie E. I see Claude Jr., and that book is Begin Again. It's in reference to some of the statements and things that James Baldwin basically spoke from his heart. And he actually spoke a lot of these things outside of America because of his frustration with this country. One of the key things is he made a statement, and he spoke at Howard University going back some years. And a statement he said, we must tell the truth till we can no longer bear it. You know, Baldwin said this, and he spoke at Howard University. And that's the same thing that basically is appropriate for today. I think with us celebrating, as it's been given to us to celebrate February as Black History Month, doesn't do us any justice at all because our history is larger than 1 month. We live it throughout the year and years to come. So we need to be more vigilant on where we are. If you have not picked up that book, I know most of you may have, Begin Again, you need to get that book. But also, one of the key things is that we don't need to fall to the narrative that we don't read. We don't need to allow that to be something that is used to get past us, or even to use to say that we don't have that desire to do so. We need to do that even the more, just because the mere fact that it's informational and it gives us an opportunity to know what's being said and where we are and where we're going. I do believe one of the things for me that was a blessing in some of you is I had a cousin that babysitted me, Georgia Wise, and Georgia would teach me how to break the words down and then look them up and look at the meaning. Then she would say to me, really, what does it mean to you? And from that, it encouraged me to read even the more. And I remember my first year of high school, I did a report, and I took some of the words from James Baldwin's book, and I presented it. And my teacher at the time, Miss Leaf, a Jewish woman, sent me to the principal's office because basically she said I was giving untruth to the class, and it was something that I couldn't have gotten on my own. Someone had to tell me. And one of the things that I do believe, this America, this country here, democracy in reference to freedom, I don't believe it's going to come until America tells the truth. And America is not going to tell the truth, but you can tell the truth. You can be the inspiration with your family, with your loved ones, with your children, to really give them a foundation to understand the truth that America should tell will not be told. It won't be told because it's going to uncover some of the ills that's even more so than we even can imagine. But I challenge you today not just to celebrate February, because February is not something really to celebrate. What is to celebrate is our history and where we came from and what we've done and what we're continually doing. We need to be very precise on informing one another of those things that are available to us. I'm not just, I'm not discouraging any other ethnicity from partnering or wanting to come together with us, but there's always a Judas. There's a Judas always amongst us, and there'll be Judases amongst others. But we need to single out that individual and let them know where we stand and understand that we're not going to tolerate it, and we can't tolerate it anymore. We need to constantly read, we need to constantly be on top of things, and we need to constantly inform one another of ways to do certain things and to get ahead. We've never been a people that were not productive. And we can't allow what has happened now in this pandemic that's going on now to actually use that as a cop out, so to speak. We're not a people that will cop out of something. We're a people that always fight to go forward. Even in this pandemic, we're still fighting. Even in this pandemic, we're still living. Even in this pandemic, we're still seeing things materialize. So it's never been a time in history where we have not produced. I want to take my hat off to Pastor Harry Lewis Williams there in Oakland, California. He's originally from New Jersey, but this brother has been out there for years, and he's paving the way. He's doing some things, and he's meeting with people. They actually call him, OG Rev, because of the fact that he put his ear to the ground. He's seen the things that are going on in some of the richest parts of the country, and how people are living in tents, as we know, are also happening here in Charlotte and other mega cities. And a country that as rich as America is, that should not be the situation in this country. But this country never tells the truth. And we understand that. We've seen that for 4 years. And we've seen how people will gravitate to a lie. A lie will never outlive the truth. But the truth must be told for you to live out the lie, or to deface the lie. So I'm challenging my brothers and sisters. And again, don't think that I'm coming against any ethnicity, but I need to make something clear, that we must understand that we can no longer sit back and just let things happen, because we see what happens when we sit back. We don't put pressure on those in our local government that are making decisions for our lives. We don't do that. And it's time that we understand that unless we put the pressure where the pressure must lie, these things will never change. If we don't put the pressure where the pressure needs to be placed in our local cities, our local states, then the continued killing of our people will continue, because we're not putting the pressure where the pressure needs to be placed. It's not to be placed in D.C. It's to be placed in your local city and your local states. So let's get off our behinds and let's really put a plan together and move forward. We've seen what can happen when we come together. We've seen what can happen when others want to join the fight. But instead of them joining the fight, and that's all well and good, but let's fight for the things that we know that are right and that are true. So my brothers and sisters, please don't sit back with an idle time. Read, find out more information, be a support system to our younger brothers and sisters. We've left them out on a limb, and they're watching us, and we're not giving them anything to fight with. Let me give this prime example. I work part-time, and at my employment, the manager approached 2 young brothers. And the statement to the 2 young brothers was, you need to call when you're not going to be in. I'm not going to allow it any longer. If it happens again, I'm going to fire you right out. And she said to them, sign these documents. I watched them. They did not read the document. They signed the document. And as soon as they signed the document, she took the document up and began to talk to her lead person about approaching someone else. I walked over to them and I said, let me tell you something. Don't you ever put your name on something that you have not read. You don't know what that statement was and what you signed. You could have signed something that has put you in a position that you don't really want to be in, but you didn't read it. My brothers and my sisters, please read. Please be on your game. Don't allow yourself to be a victim. I was going to play this song by Sly and the Family Stones, Everybody is a Star. And I think we need to sometime pull these relics and play them, or ask a radio station to play them, so that it helps to bring us back to a realization that the quality that we have within us is so great that it really is a star. And so I'm just encouraging you, and I want you to be encouraged again. If you don't have the book, I'm going to flip my paper over, pick it up, begin again. Look it up, read it, look at and glean from it. And there's other authors out there that's releasing great pieces that will inspire, that will encourage, that will lift you, especially during this pandemic. This is that time that we need to be encouraging one another. And you need to be the one that's the encourager. And sometimes the encourager needs to be encouraged as well. So let's do that one with another. But don't just take February as Black History Month. Don't let them label that. Don't let them put you under that thumb. It's greater than February. And we need to understand the greatness behind it. And even some of the movies that are coming on and some of the movies that are out there, some of us don't want to look at because it brings back that moment of slavery. Well, let me tell you something. The Holocaust is never forgotten. It's always something that is brought back. It's always something that they teach their children about. What are we teaching ours about? What's happening with the education of us as a people? Don't depend on others to tell the story. They didn't live the story. We live the story. And also with the Holocaust, there was a lot of people of color that got killed as well. Tell the story. Let's not sit back and not read. Don't take your time that you sit back and twiddle your thumbs and say, what am I going to do now? You're the ones that's going to make a change. Everybody's waiting on God to make the move. God is waiting on you to make the move. God bless you. Have an outstanding day. And don't allow February just to be a month that they proclaim as Black history. You can't proclaim what you didn't create. So we thank you and I God bless you. God bless you again. Much success. Don't take no for an answer. God has created you great. He's created you to be awesome. He's given you delegated authority. And if you don't use it, you lose it. Don't leave this earth without something that you have poured into someone else that they can go further than where they are. Love you all. Bless you now.